Hi everyone. Legal CBD has made law enforcement's job more difficult. This is Christina Williams with Just Criminal Law.
And this is David Mann, legal storytelling specialist. All right, so Christina, you and I were talking earlier, and I think I have this right. This whole thing that you want to talk about today centers around a story that happened near Laramie, in which a canine officer was at a gas station where there was a car parked, and the officer noticed that this was a rental car. It was a type of car that was a rental. And as we talked about in one of our other videos, that's a red flag sometimes for officers that something might be going on because that's a rental. So he goes over there and just starts striking up a conversation with these guys in the car. Just talking, chit-chatting, and gets around to, hey, where did you rent this thing from? And they said, Las Vegas. So he says, yeah, well, let me see here the rental agreement. So they start scrolling around on their phone, or one guy's scrolling around on his phone to find the digital rental agreement and finds it, but it's from San Francisco. And this whole time, the guy in the passenger seat is getting more and more kind of nervous. And the police officer's noticing all this, the discrepancy in the rental and the nervous guy, and says, you know what, okay, I'm going to detain you. And he decides to have his canine, because he's a canine officer, have his dog sniff the car. The dog does this and alerts, meaning finds something, and it turns out these guys have 150 pounds of marijuana in their car. So I know there's more to this, but is that basically it?
Yeah, you hit all the high points there, David. So the canine is trained to alert on illegal substances, specifically cocaine, methamphetamine, heroin, and marijuana. Now in Wyoming, our legislature legalized CBD, and marijuana and CBD have the same chemical composition. So during the hearing, the motion hearing on that case, the officer testified that it's true. In fact, his canine cannot detect the difference between legal CBD and illegal marijuana. And so potentially, given the right set of circumstances, now this particular case doesn't fit the bill because they didn't have any legal CBD in the vehicle, but the Supreme Court noted that perhaps if they did, or if there was a case where the canine who's trained to detect marijuana alerts on a vehicle that contains both legal CBD and marijuana, then potentially that person would have a reasonable expectation of privacy to the odors coming from the vehicle that are legal. Now, that's definitely a new area of the law that has not been decided, and it's not certain that the Supreme Court would go that way, but they at least mentioned it in this decision on this case, so there's hope anyway that they will make a distinction, and perhaps in a case like this, the evidence can be suppressed because it's that canine sniff and that alert that gives the officer probable cause to search the vehicle. And if the canine can't tell the difference and alerts on CBD, even if there is marijuana in the car, if there's both of them, then the officer doesn't automatically have that probable cause to search. So it's definitely going to be interesting when the right case comes along for the Supreme Court to look at that.
That's really interesting. So that could be an area of the law that someone who is stopped and is ultimately convicted of having marijuana possession may never have actually had to let their car be searched. You're saying, right? Because the dog, because the dog sniffing is what gets the police officer the clearance to search the car in the first place.
Right. So somebody that's accused of having illegal marijuana in their car and files a motion in front of the district court and asks the district court to make that decision on whether or not there's probable cause to search the vehicle because there's both legal CBD and illegal marijuana in the car, and that court decides, that's true, we don't have probable cause here because there's that confusion, then the person can potentially avoid a conviction and get the evidence dismissed.
Wow. Okay. Well, this sounds like a job for a lawyer. So how do they get in touch with you?
We'll include a link in the description where they can call, text, or chat with a member of my team anytime, day or night. Here at Just Criminal Law, we know you only get one shot at justice, so make yours count.